Life, it's not just about victories. It's about what you do when you're flat on your back, with the wind knocked out of you and no one around to help. It's in those gut-wrenching moments when you've failed, been rejected, or lost everything that your true character is revealed. That's where resilience is forged. Falling is a part of living. Nobody escapes it. The strongest people you see today, they were once broken, the loudest voices, silenced, the most successful, defeated, forgotten, ridiculed. And still they rose. This isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. It's not about avoiding the fall, it's about mastering the rise. And let me tell you something with every ounce of passion I've got: life always gives you another chance, but only if you're willing to stand back up and claim it. So today, I want to take you on a journey. A journey through 8 powerful truths that'll help you learn to rise no matter how hard you fall. This isn't just motivation, it's fuel, it's fire, it's real, because your comeback, it starts now. We live in a world where everyone wants to look perfect, on Instagram, at work, even at home, but let me hit you with a truth bomb. Pretending you haven't fallen is the fastest way to stay down. You see, denial is a prison. It keeps you chained to your mistakes. You can't heal what you won't confront. I remember hearing the story of Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. Before becoming a billionaire, she failed the L, sat twice, sold fax machines and got rejected by every investor she approached. But here's what separated her. She never denied her failures. She accepted them, learned from them, and used them as the foundation for her empire. When you fall, don't cover it up. Sit in that pain. Let it hit you, cry if you need to, scream if you have to, but face it. There was a time in my life when I felt like I'd lost everything. Doors were slammed, dreams shattered. I remember staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., asking, is this it? But the first moment of power came when I said to myself, yeah, I messed up. Yeah, I failed, but this is not how my story ends. That kind of honesty, that's power, because acceptance is the soil where growth begins. It's when you stop running and start rebuilding. Look at Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years behind bars, falsely imprisoned, forgotten by many, but he accepted his situation and never let it define him. When he walked free, he didn't come out bitter, he came out ready to lead, to unite, to rise. Let this sink in. Your fall does not make you a failure. Your fall makes you human. The sooner you accept it, the sooner you get your power back. Here's the deal: nobody makes it out of life without falling. Nobody. The difference between those who stay down and those who rise is one thing: ownership. So I challenge you right now, own your story. Don't hide the chapter where you fell. That chapter is what makes your rise unforgettable. From athletes who tore their ligaments and came back stronger, to business giants who declared bankruptcy and built new empires, it all starts with one step: acceptance. So stop wasting time pretending it didn't happen. You fell, good. Now get ready, because your rise is about to make history. Let me ask you something personal. When you're alone, broken, and staring at the ceiling in the dead of night, what do you say to yourself? Because that voice, that quiet voice inside, it's either lifting you back to life or burying you in the ashes of your fall. When you fall, the world may doubt you. That's expected. But the real war isn't out there, it's inside your own head. You can't rise if the voice in your head keeps whispering, you're not good enough, you'll never make it, you're done. You want to rise? Then speak like a fighter. You need to speak like someone who's already seen the other side of pain and came back stronger. Let me take you back to 2015. A young woman named Elizabeth was battling the worst depression of her life. She had lost her job, ended a long-term relationship, and couldn't afford rent. The world around her had gone dark, but something shifted one day when she stood in front of the mirror, tears in her eyes, and said out loud, "This is not who I am. This is who I was, and I'm coming back." That was the moment everything changed, not because of money, not because of luck, but because of the language she chose. It wasn't about fake positivity. It was about reminding herself that the storm didn't have the final word, she did. I've stood in locker rooms where champions were born, and do you know what every single one of them had in common? They didn't just train their bodies, they trained their minds, they spoke with power. They spoke with belief, even when they were losing. Champions talk to themselves different, even when the scoreboard says 0, even when the critics are loud, even when the mirror reflects failure. They speak like they already see the comeback. Muhammad Ali didn't wait for the world to call him the greatest. He said it before he proved it. He didn't say, "I think I can." He said, "I am." That's the kind of dialogue that turns a nobody into a legend. Let me give you something practical right now. When you fall, and you will replace this, "I failed, I'm finished," with this, "I failed, that means I tried, and I'm not done," or this, "They left me, I must not be worth it." Flip it, "They left me, that's their loss, I'm not begging anyone to see my worth." And this one equals, "I don't know if I can do it." Speak this, "I may not know how yet, but I will figure it out." You've got to be your own coach when the crowd goes silent. Remember Kobe Bryant? He once shot airballs in a crucial playoff game as a rookie and got crushed by the media. But do you know what he told himself? He said, "I wasn't strong enough yet. That's why I failed. So I'm going to get stronger." And he did. Mamba mentality wasn't born in victory, it was born in failure. So if your life feels silent right now, if it feels like no one believes in you good, that's the perfect condition to build your own belief system. Change your inner dialogue, stop negotiating with weakness, stop agreeing with fear, stop having conversations with doubt. Instead, speak truth, speak power, speak fire into your bones. When your legs are shaking, say, "One more step." When the doors are shut, say, "I'll build my own." When your heart is broken, say, "This pain is my fuel." Because life responds to how you speak to yourself. You want a second chance. It starts with the story you tell yourself every day. So let's rewrite it right now. Not "I'm a failure," but "I'm a fighter." Not "It's too late," but "It's my time." Not "I'm done," but "I'm just getting started." Say it, believe it, then go live it. Let me tell you something you won't hear in motivational posters or Instagram reels. Pain isn't just part of life. It's the price of greatness, and the ones who rise after they fall, they don't just survive pain, they use it. Pain is energy, raw, explosive, and powerful, but only if you choose to convert it. Most people run from it. They numb it with distractions, blame others, or bury it deep inside. But champions, fighters, they grab pain by the collar, stare it dead in the eyes, and say, "You came into my life for a reason. Now watch what I do with you." There's a story that always hits me hard. A guy named Eric Thomas, you probably know him now as a global motivational speaker. But he didn't start that way. He was homeless, slept in abandoned buildings, ate from trash cans, no family, no degree. Just pain, but Eric didn't let the pain make him bitter. He let it make him better. He used every sleepless night, every hungry day, every tear. Soaked moment as fuel, he told himself, "If I can survive this, I can build something unstoppable." And he did. Today, he doesn't just speak, he moves people's souls. That's what happens when you refuse to waste your pain. I've walked through fire in my own life. Times when the silence was deafening. Times when people smiled in front of me and stabbed me in the back. Times when the person I saw in the mirror was unrecognizable, and I'd ask myself, why is this happening to me? But over time, I realized something powerful. Pain isn't a punishment. It's a preparation. It's life putting you through training. You're not being buried, you're being planted. So that one day when you rise, your roots are too deep for anything to shake you. Think of pain like a gym, every heartbreak. A rep, every failure, a set, every loss, another lap. It builds something inside you no textbook ever could. Mental toughness, heart, hunger, and the kind of fire that never goes out. Let's look at someone else, Oprah Winfrey. Born into poverty, abused as a child, fired from her first job in television, told she was unfit for TV, but she didn't waste that pain. She didn't get stuck in victimhood. She turned her scars into stepping stones. Today, billionaire, icon, legacy. How? Because she used the very pain meant to break her and turned it into the foundation of a global empire. You see, pain carries information. It tells you what matters. It teaches you what to protect. It sharpens your focus. It makes you feel alive. And most of all, it gives you the fuel to push past the limits you once thought were real. But here's the deal: fuel burns. That's its nature. So if you don't use your pain, it'll destroy you. It'll eat away at your spirit. You'll become cold, bitter, and numb. So don't let pain rot inside you. Use it. Convert it. Let it light your next step. Start building that business because you know what it feels like to be broke. Start that healing journey because you know what it feels like to be hurt. Write that book. Launch that podcast. Get in shape. Build your legacy. Do it all because the pain taught you what the soft moments never could. And the next time pain shows up at your doorstep, don't slam the door, welcome it, then put it to work. Tell your pain, you thought you could break me, but you just gave me the fire I needed. So listen closely, the pain didn't come to end you, it came to ignite you. Pain, let's not sugarcoat it. It hurts, it breaks you, it leaves you bleeding inside while the world keeps spinning like nothing happened. But here's the truth, pain isn't here to destroy you, it's here to transform you. You know what separates people who rise from people who stay down. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's how they use their pain. You fall, you lose someone, you lose yourself, and you've got two choices: let the pain define you or let it drive you. Because pain is energy, raw, burning, pure energy, and that energy, you can waste it crying, complaining, and playing victim. Or you can fuel your rise with it. Let me tell you a real story. In 2001, a young man's mother died in his arms. He was 23. He didn't have a stable job, no savings, no direction. Depression followed like a storm. But every single night, he reminded himself, if this is rock bottom, I'm going to build something right here. I've got nothing else to lose. He didn't numb the pain. He worked with it, studied with it, hustled with it. That man today is a successful author, motivational speaker, and mentor to thousands because he used pain like gasoline, not poison. You see, pain carries clarity. It strips away your ego. It shows you what matters. When you're in pain, you finally see people's true colors. You learn who stands with you. You learn who you are when you have nothing. That knowledge is power. Think of every major comeback story. You admire every champion who stood tall again. Behind every medal, every trophy, every achievement, there's a chapter of pain. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Most kids would quit, but he didn't. That rejection hurt him so deeply that he trained like a madman. Every early morning workout, every shot he took, he remembered that pain. He used it, and that pain turned him into a legend. Pain is a tool, but only if you choose to use it. You can cry over it, or you can rise with it. Now, let me tell you what pain really is. It's a reminder that you're alive. It's your soul screaming, I'm still here, still fighting, still breathing. There's a quote that hits hard: the wound is the place where the light enters you. So when life punches you in the face good, that pain, let it wake you up. Turn heartbreak into hunger. Turn rejection into redirection. Turn failure into fire. You've got to stop seeing pain as your enemy. It's your training ground. When you go to the gym, your muscles hurt. Why? Because they're growing. So what makes you think your spirit is any different? When life hurts, it's shaping you. But here's the warning. Pain will either build you or break you, depending on how you respond. Don't drown it in distractions. Don't numb it with fake smiles. Feel it, own it, then rise with it. Write about it, speak about it, train with it. Let it drive you to a version of yourself that your comfortable days never could have created. Because one day, someone else will fall just like you did, and your story will become their ladder. But only if you chose to rise. You've cried enough. You've suffered enough. Now use it. Tell your pain, you knocked me down, but you woke something up inside me. Let it push you. Let it move you. Let it remind you that if you can survive, that you can survive anything. Your greatest weapon isn't your strength. It's the pain that didn't kill you, because now it's your fire. When you're on the ground, when the world has chewed you up and spit you out, you'll quickly learn something brutal. Not everyone wants to see you rise again. That's why you've got to be ruthless about one thing who you let in your corner. Because after a fall, your environment either becomes your rehab or your graveyard. You see, when you're broken, your mind is like a sponge. Every word, every vibe, every person around you, it either strengthens you or weakens you. And if you keep hanging around people who pour poison into your system, doubt, negativity, jealousy, pity, then don't be surprised when you stay stuck. Listen closely. You don't need a crowd, you need a crew. A real crew, people who see your potential even when you're too hurt to see it yourself, people who speak life into your soul when you feel dead inside, people who say, get back up, you're not done yet. Let me give you a real life story. J.K. Rowling, before she was the legendary author of Harry Potter, was a broke, single mother living on welfare. She submitted her manuscript to 12 publishers, all rejected her, but she had one friend. Just one, who read her book and said, don't give up. The world needs this story. That one voice, it gave her the strength to try again, and the 13th publisher said yes. Now imagine if she had surrounded herself with people who said, maybe writing's not for you, or get a real job. That's the difference. One voice can change your direction if it's the right voice. You need people who challenge your excuses, not feed them. You need friends who call you out when you're slacking, not comfort you with lies. That's love, that's loyalty, that's growth. There's a man I met once, a recovering addict. He told me he tried to quit drugs 7 times, relapsed every time. You know what finally worked? He changed one thing, his circle. He cut out the friends who offered him just one more hit. He moved out of the environment where his identity was tied to his addiction. He found a group of men in recovery who held him accountable. They believed in him when he didn't believe in himself. Today, he's 5 years clean, got a family, a business, a purpose. That's the power of who you walk with. Because sometimes the people you thought would cheer for you won't. Your rise will remind them of their own stagnation. Your healing will trigger their unresolved pain. Your growth will expose their comfort zones. Let them go. Let them doubt you. Let them talk. Let them laugh. Just don't let them sit at your table. Because when you're rising from a fall, you're fragile. You need fireproof people in your life, the ones who have been through the flames and still stand strong. Find them, build with them, trade stories, trade scars, grow together. Here's the truth. You don't need 50 people. You need 2 or 3 real ones. People who don't just hear your words, they feel your silence. People who remind you of who you are when you've forgotten. People who clap when no one else is watching, not for your spotlight, but for your soul. Start auditing your circle. Ask yourself, who lifts me when I'm down? Who believes in my rise, not just my highlight reel? Who challenges me to grow even when it hurts? If someone's not feeding your spirit, they're starving it. So here's your challenge. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Cut out the noise, eliminate the leeches, unfollow the envy, block the bitterness, and pour into the ones who pour back. Because when you surround yourself with people who speak life into you, you won't just rise. You'll soar. Let me tell you something that might change your life forever. You don't rise by accident, you rise by vision. After the fall, when the dust settles and the pain is still fresh, you're standing at a crossroads. And in that moment, the only thing that will pull you out of the wreckage is a vision so powerful that it burns in your soul even when everything else feels broken. You need something to move toward. A picture of who you want to become, a mission that makes your heart beat louder than your fear, a reason to wake up when the world expects you to stay down. That vision, that's your anchor, that's your compass. That's your comeback plan. I want you to remember the story of Jim Carrey. Before he became one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood, he was broke. He lived in a van with his family. He dropped out of high school. Life had slammed him into the ground, but he had a vision. He didn't just wish for success, he saw it. He once wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and dated it 5 years in the future. He kept it in his wallet. He looked at it every single day. And when the film Dumb and Dumber hit theaters 5 years later, do you know what his paycheck was? $10 million. That's not luck. That's vision. That's setting a target so bold, it pulls you out of despair and into discipline. You've got to create that for yourself. Right now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now. I want you to close your eyes and imagine the life you want. Not the one you think you can settle for, the one that sets your soul on fire, What do you look like? How do you walk? What legacy are you building? Who's sitting in the front row when you win? That's your vision. Hold onto it like your life depends on it, because it does. You see, people fall and stay down because they focus on the past, but people who rise, they're laser, focused on the future. They refuse to be defined by what went wrong because they're obsessed with where they're going. Let me give you another example. There was a kid named Kai Johnson, had NFL dreams, trained his whole life, one game away from getting drafted. One injury changed everything, paralyzed his right arm permanently. Dream gone, future destroyed, not for Kai, because the injury didn't take his vision. He said, maybe I won't make it to the NFL, but I will still inspire the world. Today, he's a world-renowned motivational speaker, touching lives in ways he never imagined. That's the power of a vision that's bigger than your setbacks. But let me be real with you. Vision alone isn't enough. You've got to turn that vision into daily habits, into actions, into commitments. You can't just dream, you've got to move. Write that vision down. Read it every morning. Speak it out loud. Remind yourself that you're not building for today, you're building for the next version of you. When you're tired, let the vision speak. When you're lonely, let the vision guide. When you're doubting, let the vision scream louder than your fear, and don't keep it small. Don't let society shrink your dream. Don't let people tell you be realistic. Realistic never changed the world. Visionaries did. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King Jr., all visionaries, all rejected, all doubted, but they didn't flinch because their vision was unshakable. So what's yours? You want to build something, build it. You want to leave something behind, start now. You want to become someone you're proud of, paint the picture, then chase it like your life depends on it. Because it does. A strong vision doesn't just help you rise, it won't let you stay down. So the next time life knocks you flat on your face, get up, dust yourself off, and whisper to yourself, this is not the end of my story. I've seen the next chapter, and it's powerful. Let's get something straight. You don't have to have it all figured out to rise. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You don't need to feel strong, brave, or ready. You just need to take one step. Even if it's slow, even if it's messy, even if you're crawling, that's the truth nobody tells you. After a major fall, it's not about massive leaps. It's about tiny steps repeated daily with faith, with fight, and with everything you've got left in the tank. Because forward is forward, no matter how slow. Let me take you to a hospital in Dallas, 2013. A young man named John had just survived a devastating motorcycle accident. Doctors told him he might never walk again. Spinal fractures, shattered bones, depression, pain meds, silence. He stayed in bed for weeks hopeless. But then one day his physical therapist whispered something into his ear. Can you just move your toe for me today? That was the spark. He moved his toe. The next day he moved his ankle. The next week his knee. 6 months later he walked out of rehab on his own feet. Now he runs marathons. Not because he was fearless, but because he was willing to take just one step. That's the mindset you need right now. You might be looking at your dreams feeling like they're a million miles away. You might feel like nothing's working, like you're stuck in a hole too deep to climb out of. But I promise you, one step forward is all you need to break the curse. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait until the pain is gone. You rise by movement. You rise by action. You rise by simply refusing to stay still. Do you think the people who changed the world did it when it was easy? Nelson Mandela didn't wait for freedom. He stayed locked away for 27 years and still took every mental step he could toward peace. Bethany Hamilton lost her arm in a shark attack. Most people would have never touched the ocean again. She took one step, picked up her surfboard again, and rode the waves with one arm. Today, she's a world champion. These aren't superheroes. These are human beings who chose to move when everything inside them screamed to quit. So here's what I need you to understand. The comeback doesn't begin with a roar. It begins with a whisper. A whisper that says, get up, just one more time. That whisper, that's the start of something legendary, and here's what's beautiful. The first step doesn't have to be perfect. You can cry while you take it. You can doubt yourself while you take it. You can shake, bleed, limp, but if you keep moving, you're not losing, you're healing. Too many people think rising means jumping to success. No, rising means choosing to move when every bone in your body says stay down. Let me give you something practical. If you're broken right now emotionally, financially, mentally, here's your step. Wake up and make your bed. Go for a walk, even if it's 5 minutes. Send that one email. Drink water, breathe, meditate, read one chapter, apply for that one job, apologize, forgive, ask for help. Just one step and tomorrow another, because success is never one big decision. It's thousands of tiny ones stacked daily, consistently, painfully, beautifully. That's how mountains are moved. You want to rise, then stand even if your legs shake. Speak even if your voice cracks. Show up even if your soul feels numb. Keep moving forward like your future is on the other side of the fog, because it is. Remember this, you're not expected to be unbreakable, but you are expected to be unshakable. And unshakable people, they don't wait for permission. They move even through the storm. So here's the promise I want you to make. I may fall again, but I'll never stop stepping forward. Because the fall wasn't the end. The step you take after the fall, that's the beginning.